But it is 2 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon, a nice rainy one here in the Garden Route. Hope it's also pretty nice where you are this afternoon, just chilling, maybe making some more coffee now. But firstly, we are going to chat to Clint, and he's from Anywhere I.T, based in Knysna, and we're talking about backup this afternoon. Clint, a very good afternoon to you. How's it going?
Good afternoon, Jan. It's going very well, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm really, really good. I love the weather. Do you like this kind of weather or not?
It's all good when I'm focused on remote support, not so good when I'm out seeing clients. So, it's a lovely, lovely, lovely weather. I'm really enjoying the rain. It's just very cold. I'm do with some summer now.
Isn't it actually still pretty cold for October?
It's freezing. I mean, I'm quite surprised. You know, you look at Joburg and how their weather has changed. It's all nice and warm and everything. And I'm thinking, hey, what the hell? Where's ours? You know, let's have some sunshine for a change.
Yeah. It's very. I think it's going to be a late summer. But anyway, you never know. It can change in 24 hours, just like that. Well Clint, you had a busy morning with call outs, he said.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it actually highlights the subject that we're going to be speaking about today. I've had some issues with major machine crashes this last week, and backups. The question is, how important is the data to you?
Yeah, and as I said on the Facebook page and the post today, if your computer decided to just go today, would your life end, or would you be like, no, don't worry, I've got backup? And most of us go, oh no, we start crying and go hysterical because we don't have backup. But why were these machines crashing? Did you see some kind of pattern with your clients this week, why the machines were crashing, or were they different scenarios?
They were mainly different scenarios, Jan. I think a lot of it has got to do with load shedding and power issues. Fortunately, we haven't had any load shedding, but the clients that I've been dealing with, they certainly have been having some power failures in their area. And also Windows updates can get quite hairy at times, creating all sorts of chaos lately. So, yeah, it's been various things. And, you know, the interesting thing about it is of these three hardcore machines that I've literally had to redo now, two of them had great backups, and the third one thought he had backups, hasn't done a proper backup since 2015. So, yeah. I've had two smiley faces and one very long face this week.
Oh, wow. Listen, I just want to tell you, when I realized when I realized that backup is really important, is when my laptop was stolen and I didn't have backup and I was totally screwed. Now, I got my laptop back, thank goodness, due to my wonderful PI skills and all that kind of stuff. I was fortunate enough to get it back, but untouched, everything was still on there. They couldn't get past the password, and that laptop also had like a tricky thing where you can't really get in unless you plug it in, and he didn't take the plugs. Yeah, stupid thief. So that was really nice. And then I just realized how important backup is, because when the computer was gone, I was like, shit, my life's over.
Absolutely. And I mean, you know, we store all of our information on our computers. I think there's very few people that actually store all of their data on an external drive or on an external process. You know, mostly people tend to keep their data on their computers and then have some form of backup that they either don't do on a regular basis or making use of some of the cloud facilities that aren't really very secure.
Yeah, so what do we do, Clint? What do you recommend? Having an external hard drive in your office and you put it in your safe or somewhere, or do you recommend going with a cloud or that kind of stuff?
Yeah, no, you know, once again, it boils down to how important your data is to you. You know, some solutions can get quite costly. There's various free options. And I think the most common used backup procedure is to actually back up to an external drive, you know. But the thing is, you know, you're backing up to your external drive is not exactly the best exercise if you're going to be leaving your external drive connected to your machine or within the same bag as that you keep your laptop, for example. You know, the whole intention of having a backup is, should something happen, fire, theft, whatever the case might be, that you have your backups away from your main machine or away from the device that you're backing up. You know, otherwise, like I say, it could be quite a pointless exercise, really.
Sorry. Now, I just wanted to say, imagine there's a fire or something and you have your backup in the same building. I mean, then you're screwed anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Your standard backup is always probably to an external drive or to a USB stick, depending on how much data you're backing up. But to have cloud backup solutions in place as well is definitely very advisable these days. Very, very advisable.
Now
so
the
I'm going
next.
To go through...
Oh shit, man! Sorry. Ooh, there's this delay on WhatsApp call. I don't like it. I really don't like it. It causes me to talk over my guests, and I don't usually do that. I just wanted to say, Clint, you know, for people backing up on clouds, you know, mainly we're concerned about the security of it. I know it's encrypted. I mean, talking to you right now, it's saying end-to-end encrypted on this WhatsApp call, but I don't really trust it. How do you trust the cloud?
Yeah, so you speak to end-to-end encryption. That's via this call that we're having right now. But if you're using things like Dropbox, Google Drive, or OneDrive for your so-called backups, there is no end-to-end encryption. So, you know, that's one of the challenges that we face with using some of these backup methods is exactly that, security. So I'm going to go through various types of backups that one can do, and then we can discuss the types of security involved and various procedures and everything else from there. I don't know if that's cool with you.
That's cool with me, and now I will just listen. I won't talk over you again, so take it away.
Okay, Jan. So we have various types of backup methods. Okay, so you would have backups either to an external drive, either to a cloud device. You could have backups to a network storage device. You know, they're called NAS devices. And in the good old days, we also still used to have our good tape backups, you know. So there's various ways of doing your backup. So what I'm going to discuss now is the different types. So your cloud backups, a lot of people would use cloud backups, or they consider their data backed up by using something like Google Drive, OneDrive, or Dropbox being the three most common ones. I've been doing some research into these, and I have found that they're not very, very secure. Google Drive especially seems to be one of the worst ones. I'm looking on Tom's guide at the moment, and they're saying, between the National Security Agency and Google's own overreaching terms of service, your files on Google Drive may be open to snooping from both organizations. You know, so there's many things to consider once again, but it gets back down to how important is your data. So if you're backing up to a cloud device, you know, you would want to back up using encrypted backups. That way you're also preventing yourself from getting any form of viruses onto your backup devices. I had an instance a few years back where one of my clients up in Joburg had a complete network crash taken out by ransomware. And because of the fact that we were using a proper secured encryption cloud backup solutions, I was able to recover that entire network right back to the minute that everything crashed. You know, you won't be able to do that if you are just using something like an external drive that's permanently plugged into your computer. If it's going to take out your computer, it's going to take out your external drive. So once again, another reason why it shouldn't be connected to your machine at all times as well. So that was one of the so the various forms of backup. Like I say, you've got backups to hard drives. Is always a good thing to have to an external drive, as long as you're not keeping it with your machine. They say that you should keep it off-site, but not too many people do keep it off-site. Where do you keep it if you're working from home and you're backing up to your external drive? So as long as you put it in a different room, in a completely different place, that's at least one step closer to securing your data should something happen in case of a theft. Not necessarily going to save you in a fire, but it's certainly going to help you in a theft situation.
Yeah.
And then you've got your different types of backups, and you've got full backups, you've got incremental backups, you've got differential backups. So I'm going to just explain the difference between them. So full backup is when you're literally backing up all of your data. Okay, that is every time you do. So when you do a backup, ordinarily what you would do is you would do a full backup, and then from there you would either do a differential or an incremental backup. The two are very similar in the way that they work, in that the differential backup will back up, for example, if you do a full backup on a Sunday, and then you do a differential backup on a Monday, all it will do is it will back up the files that have changed since your full backup on the Sunday. Then when you do your backup on the Tuesday, what it will do is it will only back up the files that have changed since the Monday. Then you get what's called an incremental backup, where you would do your full backup, say, on a Sunday, and then when you do your Monday backup, it will do only the files that have changed since your last full backup. Then when you do your backup on a Tuesday, it will once again do only all of the files that have changed since your full backup. So those are the methods that you want to use to save time when you're doing your backups. If you're doing a full backup every single time that you're doing a backup, depending on the amount of data that you've got, it could carry on for hours and hours and hours. There's also lots of free backup solutions that are available to clients, and I'm going to give you some of the most popular ones right now. So the top backup solutions that people are currently using are Cobian Backup is very popular. Then there is AMOE Backup, which is also very popular, and Komodo Backup is very, very popular. I use a backup program called Create Synchronicity. It's a little open source backup program. It's a tiny little lightweight backup. It allows you to do full backups, allows you to do incremental backups, and also allows you to do scheduling, just like any other backup program really allows you to do. So I think from a software perspective, it's a matter of personal preference as to what kind of backup program that you want to use. Certainly you want to use something that is going to be user friendly and very easy to use, and make sure that your data is backed up properly.
Now, Clint, I'm just wondering, obviously it is quite a mission when you first start backing up to a cloud, because you have gigs and gigs to upload, and then later on they kind of start charging you if you want to add more storage space, right?
That's correct, Ian. And then also something to remember when you're doing so if you're using one of those cloud backups that you're talking about, it's back in. So you would, for example, you would have a Dropbox folder on your computer, and then your Dropbox cloud service. Okay, so you would put all of your files into your Dropbox, and then from there it will sync to your cloud service. Just something to bear in mind is a lot of people think that when they're using a cloud service like that they're actually saving themselves disk space. You are not. Whatever you are backing up to the cloud is also keeping a copy on your computer. So your data. So one has to be careful. One runs out of hard drive space very quickly when people think they're doing, but I've got all my stuff in OneDrive. Why is my data run out? Well, the fact that your data's run out is because you've got a OneDrive and on your computer. So you've almost like got two copies of your data on your computer.
Oh my gosh. Yes, that's right. That's right. But we're just very, very wary of uploading onto a cloud, because nowadays you get all these security breaches, and they're just coming left, right and center. We hear about passwords leaking and personal details being leaked on the internet. I think it all started with the lockdown. It was like the hackers kind of had more time to start doing these things.
Yeah, absolutely. Hackers were in lockdown in the element, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah, because a lot of people, banks here in South Africa, banks said, there's a possibility that your credit card details leaked or that kind of stuff. They obviously notified their clients, but that's a really scary thought.
Yeah, it's a really, really, really scary thought. So, so backups are not going to help you much against security breaches like that, where your passwords and stuff have been hacked. It's certainly going to help you for if they do something like a ransomware or, hack into your system to have proper backups in place. So, we don't know how to protect ourselves. You just can't keep up with these guys. Back to what we spoke about as antivirus. The problem, when you're dealing with antivirus, for example, so antivirus guys, they're updating the antivirus every single day. But you could almost think of a hacker like a common criminal trying to break into your house. The more security features you add to your house, the more ways they're going to find to get into your house, and more they get cleverer and cleverer, and so some of the hackers, it's the challenge we face on a daily basis, and that's why backups are so important. And if you're a business owner and doing backups, you really need to consider having more than one type of backup in place. You should have backups to your external drives, and you should have backups to a cloud service as well. A lot of my clients, how I set them up, I have two backup devices connected to their servers. For example, the one does weekly backups, the other one does daily backups, so that we can retrieve data very, very quickly if they need something, if they've lost something. And then we have a very secure cloud backup solution as well, not using one of the Google Drives or anything like that. We use proper encrypted cloud storage facilities that do real-time backups as well as an additional feature. From a business perspective, you cannot have enough security in place.
That's so true. Listen, Clint, if somebody's listening live now or maybe later on in the podcast and they want to know more about these backup solutions, maybe they've got a business or just for personal use, how can you help them and how can they contact you?
Yeah, absolutely. And so they are more than willing to contact me, and I can assist them remotely in setting up whatever type of backup solution they require. So I can assist them with setting up a backup to an external drive. I can assist them with setting up a proper cloud solution, proper backups to cloud solutions. We can certainly, no matter what their requirements are, I can help them and assist them remotely, no problem. And they can get hold of me in various ways via our website, www.anywhere.it.co.za. They can contact the office number 044-011-0090. They can contact me on my cell 081 555 0087. Or they can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Anywhere I.T.
So in case somebody missed the details, we'll have it for you just below the podcast as well, uploaded later this afternoon, and you can get in touch with Clint of Anywhere IT. Well, that's it for this week. Thank you, Clint. I don't know what we'll talk about next week. We'll just see where the road takes us, I suppose.
Yes, I'm going to give it some thought, and I'm going to give you a really challenging one to work with next week, so that you can't ask me any questions.
Yeah, you can do all the talking next week. Awesome.
I need your questions. That's what gets me through.
I suppose. Well, I look forward to it, Clint. That's next Thursday at 2 p.m. right here on eRadio Live. You enjoy the rest of your Thursday, the 1st of October. Can you believe it?
Yeah, can you believe it? Awesome, Ian. Thank you. You too.
Thanks,
and
man.
Thank you for having me on your show.
As always, talk to you next week. Cheers, man.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye. That's Clint Forster from Anywhere IT. And as I said, you can find these details just below our podcast uploaded this afternoon. Otherwise, you can head on over to our Facebook page right now at Entertainment Radio SA, and you'll also find his page tagged in that post, and then you'll obviously be able to get in touch with him that way as well. But that's it for Tech Thursday for today.